Alright guys, it's Jalan with the Paradox Gaming Network, and today I'm continuing with my 4.5 skill changes series. Today we're going to be talking about occultism. Before we get into that, I want to say that this month's goal is to hit 1,431 subscribers. If that happens, I'll do another Apex giveaway. That means we have to hit about 156 subscribers in the next 25 days. Speaking of giveaways, I'm giving away 5 of the Sky Whisperer gliders through my YouTube subscribers. Some of them get given out during my Twitch streams. I'm going to reserve some to be given out for YouTube followers. So there is a Google form, which is how I do the giveaways. The description's below, that link. Don't try to copy that. Or just leave your official forum name in the comments below. If it's not your official forum name, I can't get you your glider. So, talking about occultism today, I just want people to know we're not going to talk about actual skill damage, we're not going to talk about abyssal skills, and we're not going to talk about ancestral skills. Here's just some notes. You've seen these before on the other videos, so if you need to see that, hit pause, take a quick look. Okay, so to talk about occultism, the first thing we need to talk about is Burning Brand. Burning Brand is talked about in the 4.5 Passives series, but it's so integral to occultism, I felt the need to talk about it here. The big thing is that it used to increase occultism damage. Now it decreases occultism skill cooldowns. One common trend you're going to see is occultism has a lot of things that reduces occultism skill cooldowns. It still applies death mark at 15 stacks, but this big change here is that on top of a 15% reduction in damage output, it also applies a 15% healing reduction. You're going to see one other thing in occultism that's going to reduce healing. Occultism has really made a shift in 4.5 to the anti-healer tree. And that first thing that I wanted to talk about is Mana Stars. When applying Mana Stars has a 1% reduction in healing per fetter stack, which means between Deathmark and while you're marching up to Deathmark with Fetter, you're really going to start to impact a healer. So this is one really big change to Mana Stars. The damage reduction and the move speed reduction, those remain. And now Mana Stars, it triggers Deathmark aura at 15 stacks of Fetter. As you can see, that's in yellow. 98% sure it does that, but I want to make sure people know that there's a caveat to that. Some of the translations aren't always 100%, and you're going to see proof of that from Tryon later in this video. Crippling Mire is now pretty much the same, except if the target is under Deathmark at the end of the channel, they'll be stunned. And there is an ability to increase this to 4 targets. I just can't quite put my fingers on the end of the translation. As I've told you guys before, Korean is a subject, object, verb language, and I just can't put my hands on the final translation. So yes, you can get it up to 4 targets. I can't tell you how to do that today. Crippling Mire, it no longer combos with poison. That was removed. Play Dead. Okay guys, I'm going to be completely honest, Play Dead is really complicated to translate. What I can tell you is that its cooldown was reduced to 30 seconds. It lasts 8 seconds. And I think it takes you out of combat and prevents combat with you for the duration. I know that you can't end it prematurely and then move for half a second. It combos with Death's Vengeance, but it says the damage is reduced by 50%. And now the big red text, it removes all the recovery effects. You don't fall to the ground, restore mana, health, none of that. Now, I have very little clue about the translation here. My best guess, this is like 50-50. I always try to give you the odds of what I think. My best guess is that if you use Play Dead, you can trigger Death's Vengeance, but that's why it's at 50% less damage. That sort of kind of makes sense in my book. So keep in mind, I will do extensive testing on Play Dead. I will bring you some other information. But just know, big thing I want you to take away from this is Play Dead is totally changed, and it has that combo potential with Death's Vengeance, but we'll figure out what that looks like later. Absorb Life Force, it gets its own slide. I actually cut and pasted you the straight raw translation. The icon for stun right here is present, but I do not believe this applies on the initial application. I believe it's reflecting this. If the target moves 15 meters away from you, then they'll get a 3-second stun. So that's interesting. Its range is reduced to 10 meters, down from 20. The big thing here is that the heal was reduced to 13% of damage applied, down from 50. So this is a really big nerf to the healing portion of this. Now, it has a new interesting combo in that if you are mirrors lighted, well, if you have a blessing on you, you will heal up to 4 targets around you, up to 10 meters. That's going to be interesting because you saw some synergy between vitalism and occultism in the vitalism video. So this is going to be an interesting tweak. Now, you will notice that the damage type is magic damage. So that heal being based off of the 13% of damage, I think this is going to be cross synergy between 2 people. But or it's going to be a weapon swap synergy so that somebody can put in occultism, put blessing on themselves, do some AoE healing, flip back to a healing weapon. Lots of potential with Absorb Life Force. So we're going to have to get into a lot of testing with that. You'll see a lot of red as well. It no longer decreases the channeling time for Absorb Life Force if you're under Burning Brand. It no longer does extra damage to stun targets, and it no longer does extra damage to pets. So lots of red, lots of changes with Absorb Life Force as well. Shadow Step, its distance is now 18 meters. It was 20, so just a little tiny correction. Its cooldown is now 30 seconds, and that's up from 18. So a pretty significant increase in cooldown. No longer increases your speed after shadow stepping, and no longer removes aggro. It no longer has the aggro reduction. Boneyard is now magic damage instead of ranged. Makes sense because we're putting it in a magic tree. Summon Crows no longer applies poison to impaled targets. And I think this is another one of those, this was a very hard tree to translate. Squip it, I'm doing it because you asked me to. If you use this while in stealth, it will detect stealth targets within 20 meters. 60-70%, I think I'm right. I know it combos with stealth, and I know that combo has to do with stealth detection. And I know it's 20 meters. How it all fits together, the best I can tell you. Hell Spears. This is interesting. It no longer does additional damage on impaled targets. So having a bunch of people with occultism run into you and just spear. Yes, you are going to get the CC immunity to impale, but now you're also not going to have that additional damage stack. So that is a significant change to Hell Spears. Urgency. Little interesting, as you've noticed in all these videos, poison seems to be taken out in a lot of places. Urgency now combos with poison. If you are under poison, it's an instant cast. It reduces cooldowns in occultism by 12 seconds. It was 9. So there's another one of those cooldown reducing things. and the duration was reduced to 60 seconds. It was 90. So, a little bit interesting there. It looks like you're going to be able to really drive those cooldowns in Occultism down really, really low. 12% off the top, 15% from Burning Brand. You're gonna be seeing a lot of Occultism skill spam. Shadow Vortex is the official name. I got it from Quill. Thank you, Quill. Appreciate that. It was telekinesis, or at least it was like, telekinesis was there. Close enough to the image, I'm gonna call it was telekinesis. Its range is 20 meters. It lasts for 10 seconds. It pulls all enemies into the center of a 15-meter radius. Now, you'll notice I said enemies. That's what the translation says. The translation says it pulls all enemies into the center. I know for a fact right now it's also affecting the caster. I don't know if it's affecting allies. So this skill is going to need extensive testing as well. Realize, obviously, it's not telekinesis. It removed the telekinesis effect. No more like Darth Lord of the Sith lifting people up and they can't move. Summon Wraith. Best I can tell, it stayed the same, except the attack speed reduction is now minus 400, not 500. Death's Vengeance. The range was reduced to 8 meters. It was 15. Now, this leads me to believe that I'm right on my play dead. I can play dead while under Death's Vengeance and instantly use it. It kind of makes sense if you're going to reduce the range from 15 to 8. Then it seems to go hand in hand that would make sense. I reduce the range, and then if I play dead to pop it, I do 50% less damage. That makes sense to me. It no longer chains into multiple explosions. That's another good thing. The whole, if you die within 3 seconds of taking damage from Death's Vengeance, you also explode and blah, 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 blah. Yeah, that was removed. So lots of changes with Occultism. As always, I'm going to throw out my sources because I got bad about not citing my sources. These translations I did all on my own. I'm Mark from Omnom. You got to come back, man. I am in over my head. Please come back. These are the sources. These are the places you can go. Big thanks to Quill. He gave me the assist on the one translation, gave me like insider information. So some of the stuff he told me, I really do appreciate that. Makes fitting Shadow Vortex a little bit easier. Up next, the next one you're going to see is defense. I'm going to translate defense. Again, guys, I've already started it. It's going to be another, I can give you like snippets and insights. I'm not going to be able to give you like, here's like 90% or more accurate. I'm still learning Korean. Still learning the Korean. Doing some official Korean learning though, and I'm schooling myself. And then I am working on some new idea builds, specifically healers right now. This is in work. I had a whole lot of other projects come up, so I've pushed that to the side, but rest assured, healers, I will get it to you when I'm done with these next 5 translation videos. As always, here's all the ways to get in touch with me. Discord's the easiest, Jalan #8446. Feel free to come hang out in the Archeage 101 Discord. We do a lot of talking in there, and the people there get some insider information from Archeage 101 before I release it to the public. Catch me on Fridays live on Twitch. I'm going to be doing some more stuff to try to build my Twitch membership. Going to be having some bigger giveaways out of my own pocket on Twitch. And then, as always, a special thanks to my sponsors, Jonathan Bentley and Jaywort. They are the reason I can do those giveaways. And to Sweet Tart, who is a Twitch sponsor who's not using the free Twitch Prime giveaway. And that's it for Occultism, guys. I hope this sheds a little bit more insight, or at least lets you know some things so that you can build better questions. Squip it. With defense coming, you owe me another 5 gold. Take care, guys. Hey, you. Yes, you. Yeah, you. I'm talking to you. Hit that subscribe button. Watch a couple of more videos. Go check out our website.